Strats and Strat style guitars are known for their versatility. So why do I always see Strat players stay glued to their neck pickup? 'Cause it sounds good is an obvious answer. But there's so much more that Strat and S style guitars have to offer. Today I wanted to explore how to make the most of each of the 5 positions on a Strat. So despite having a Suhr Classic S and a Silver Sky, I really wanted to use my Eric Johnson model for this. It has Fender hot noiseless pickups in it, and it's really the most traditional sounding Strat I have. Both the Suhr and the Silver Sky have very specific sounds. They're sort of adjacent to a Strat, but not quite the same. I don't really super care about the difference. If anything, I appreciate it, but I know a lot of people do. Also, you can't purchase the silent single coil system from Suhr or the Silver Sky pickups unless you get them used off of Reverb, but they'd be very expensive and very rare. You can really easily pick up a pair of Fender hot noiseless pickups, throw them in whatever Strat you have, and it'll be in the ballpark of my EJ model. If you like what you see here today, please comment, like, subscribe. I really appreciate it. And please check out my Patreon for lessons, tabs, and much more. So let's start exploring these positions. Let's start at everybody's favorite, the neck position, position 5. I don't know anyone, musician or not, who dislikes the sound of the 5th position on a Strat. It's more commonly associated with blues and blues soloing, although I've never been in a blues band where my whole job was to take awesome leads all night. Sounds like a gig I'd take, but it has yet to come around. More often than not, people will ask more of you than just, hey, can you take some awesome leads over every single song tonight? So how I view this pickup would be the following. Number 1 would be blues solo, obviously. Number 2 would be a high character and confident auxiliary sound, the strong electric sound to accompany an acoustic, for instance. Number 3, I'd use it for some haunting or mysterious slide, generally for a dark folk situation. Adding reverbs, delays, and other effects can really make that happen. Number 4 would be rolling the tone knob down to get a jazz-ish sound. And number 5 would be a confident instrumental lead. What I mean by that is if I'm playing like an instrumental tune and I'm the lead instrument, the 4th position is great and it sounds wonderful, but it might not be something you'd want to hear 10 songs in a row. For whatever reason, at least to me, the 5th position is more of a commanding presence. Let's take a listen to some examples. Let's move on to the 4th position. The 4th position is basically a meme at this point, with Slow Dancing in a Burning Room being the new Stairway to Heaven or Sweet Child of Mine for any guitar store. There's more to that position than just playing that one song. One of the reasons I would guess that Mayer used that sound is because it's a little bit more vulnerable or just less confident sounding. How I view this pickup would be 1. To play Slow Dancing in a Burning Room. 2. To play funk with that Cory Wong sound. Number 3, I'd use it as a more vulnerable sound, especially for a ballad. It'd make for a vulnerable, sentimental, etc. 4 or 8 bars. Number 4, if there's a second guitarist in the band who's using the neck position on a humbucker or Strat neck, then I'd use the 4th position to still get a darkish sound, but differentiate myself in the mix. Let's listen to some examples. Position or 3rd position is often overlooked, maybe for not having a ton of character in comparison to the other positions, but I'm not really sure. I think it can surely depend on the pickup and guitar as well as many other things, but on each of my guitars with a middle pickup, I like using that position as kind of an acoustic substitute. It's not as bright or the bridge or as dark as the neck, it's literally in the middle, and it sounds really nice and clear on big chords. Depending on your amp or pedal setup, it can also be really nice for a low gain lead. How I view this pickup would be 1. acoustic substitute or strumming rhythm. Number 2, decorative high voicings. Number 3, a light gain lead. So here's some examples. Next up, the second position. When I hear someone playing on the second position of a Strat, they're generally playing some Mark Knopfler lick from the song Sultans of Swing, or to a lesser extent John Mayer's song Vultures. Although I may not use this sound for the entirety of a set list, I might use it for the entirety of a few songs on that set list. It gets a very particular sound that's good for rhythm or lead, and clean or light gain. With its particular tone, I would see it as a high character sound, but not a foundational one. How I view this pickup would be 1. Chord rhythm playing. 2. Riff rhythm playing. 3. A light gain lead. Let's listen to some examples. Last up is the first position, the bridge pickup. The first position and I have a problematic history. It's often been a bit too thin or a bit too bright for me. I'd often make the mistake of dialing in like a bright neck position that I really loved and then switching to the bridge only to find it being incredibly thin and incredibly bright. Since the pickups are all pretty similar in output, turning the tone down on the bridge to like 7 or something would also decrease the volume. These kinds of issues led me to favor the humbucker single-single configuration like my Sir, or swap out the bridge pickup for a high output substitute like in my Silver Sky. At this point in my playing though, I would just dial in a couple of tones for positions 2 through 5, and then 1 or 2 solely for the bridge position. Positions 2 through 5 would be rhythm and lead, with clean and mid-gain tones, and position 1 would solely be mid to high gain stuff. If I had no pedals at all and was going straight into the amp, at this point I'd probably just dial in a warm bridge tone instead of favoring the other positions. To me, depending on the pickup, a warm bridge sound is really good for almost anything, except maybe jazz. How I view this pickup now would be 1. As a lead tone with mid or high gain, 2. As a gritty or rock rhythm sound with mid or high gain, and 3. A clean lead if dialed in to be a warmer tone. Let's listen to some examples. This is a bit of how I categorize the 5 positions in a Strat or Strat style guitar. I find it's helpful to have a category of the different sounds your guitars can get if you want to play a variety of styles, or just experiment with the different sounds a guitar can make. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you all next week.